Alert, alert. We have what must be a mistake on our website. I am seeing that the Pulse Wave Price Trigger Reports Pro membership is available for just $888 a year. Obviously, I'm firing all my people and calling the police. But before I do that, maybe you want to go and grab one. Get yourself the best yearly subscription price we have ever had on our website. This sale smells like it is about to expire, so grab a slice of that sale price cheese before Frank fixes his mistake. PulseWaveTrading.com. See if you can get there before we put it back to a reasonable price. PulseWaveTrading.com. Go to PulseWaveTrading.com to sign. Go to PulseWaveTrading.com to sign up for our live webinar on the Pulse Wave Trading Method. I will explain and demonstrate exactly how I use my time-tested price trigger reports live and in person. I hope to see you there.
You're watching Traders Morning Setups with Dex the Algo Capitalist. Dex created his Pulse Wave price trigger reports over 2 decades ago, and he's been using them to ride the pulse waves as a full-time trader ever since. Find out more about Dex's reports and sign up for our next webinar to learn how to use them at pulsewavetrading.com.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend. Hope you got fat off of turkey. I need to apologize if I sound a little off. I had some major oral surgery last week and my jaw is still throbbing and aching and painful, and it does actually hurt to talk, but I'm going to do my best. Please forgive me. All right, so as we get started here, there's a few things we do need to go over as we check out these overnight markets. I want to also remind you that you're going to want to definitely come back this afternoon for our special webinar. You can sign up for that by going to pulsewavetrading.com or clicking on the link in the description of this video. All right, so going into the overnight markets here, we have the US dollar index, which is down a pip, and you're at 103.39. Looking at the euro, it's off 8 pips at 109.43. The pound sterling is up 13 pips at 126.23. And the Aussie is up 6 pips at the 66 handle, 66 even. The big story this morning, though, is the December Bitcoin futures contract down 1,400, trading at 37,175. And your Ethereum futures December contract down 110.5, trading at $2,042. Crude oil futures down 36 cents per barrel at $75.20 a barrel. We have nat gas off 9 cents at $2.91. We got gold up $9.10 per ounce, trading at $2,012.10 per ounce. Silver is rallying. Both of these, gold and silver, are the December contracts, which expire here in 24 hours. So you're going to have to roll over to the next contract month. Silver's up 50 cents per ounce at $24.83 per ounce. Copper futures off 3 at $3.75. Dow futures off 71 at 35,359. S&P 500 down 10.5 points at 4557.75. The Nasdaq 100 futures down 35 points at 15,986. Russell futures down 9 at 1802. Soybean futures up a penny at $13.32 a bushel. Corn down 2 cents at $4.61 per bushel, and wheat down, we'll call it a fraction of a penny, trading at $5.47 per bushel. So, rate cuts, double-edged sword. The Federal Reserve fight against inflation is taking hold, and that could mean central bankers finally lower rates next year. But rate cuts won't necessarily be the win markets are hoping for. Investors have been begging the Fed to consider cutting rates for the better part of a year. Even as banks failed, the Fed held firm on its war against sticky inflation. A cooler than expected inflation report was enough for banks and market experts to declare an end to the Fed's tightening policy. But minutes released from the Fed's most recent meeting didn't indicate cuts were imminent. The note stated central bankers were comfortable keeping their monetary policy restrictive to clamp down on inflation. Still, some interest rate traders are predicting rate cuts coming as soon as this March, according to the CME's FedWatch tool. But it's important to remember why central bankers cut rates. It's not simply to let the market off the leash. No, no, no. A rate cut is likely in response to a slowing economy. And if the Fed were to get as aggressive as UBS suggested might, lowering rates nearly 3 percentage points by the end of 2024, that could be because we're already experiencing a full-blown recession. Another key piece of the economy facing headwinds complicates the case for rate cuts being a boon for investors. The Fed has long touted its goal of a soft landing, lower inflation while not cratering the economy. It's primarily made good on that promise. The process hasn't always been smooth, but the wheels haven't ultimately come off. However, a key factor in keeping the economy afloat, consumers, is losing steam. Retail giants Walmart and Target noted during recent earning calls they were seeing consumer spending dip. Now, according to Business Insider's Dominic Reuter, it's another sign that U.S. consumers have blown through most of the savings they accumulated during the pandemic and are racking up debt. And now the pullback comes on the cusp of the biggest season for consumer spending, the holidays. So, yes, rates will ultimately be a win for the market, but it'll take plenty of sacrifice to get there. George Santos says he'll treat expulsion as a badge of honor as he claims his colleagues are drunkenly having sex with lobbyists every night. We're not here to talk about fights. Drama in Congress is starting to spill over, and Trump's pardoning of a Kushner-like drug smuggler undercut a larger Department of Justice investigation. Isn't that interesting? I tell you, these things never cease to amaze me at all. Hedge funds come up short, literally. Funds have lost roughly $43 billion trying to short the market in recent days, according to the Financial Times. Their bet against stocks come as the S&P is on track for its best month since July of 2022. And you know what they say about one person's trash. Junk bonds have become a hot investment with rising optimism that the Fed is done raising rates. In the month leading up to November the 20th, Bond funds saw inflows of more than $16 billion, the vast majority of which went to junk bonds. Amazon is rolling out some big Cyber Monday deals. Some of the best discounts right now include savings on Echo speakers, PS5 bundles, and kitchen appliances. These 20 women in venture capital made partner or higher this year in an overwhelmingly male industry. These women claimed a seat at the table this year. The list includes Khosla Ventures' Alice Brooks and Founders Fund Jennifer Campbell. Americans ditched big cities during the pandemic. Many are now regretting it. They're further away from the communities and social network they spent years cultivating. Some have struggled to assimilate to their new communities, and many feel cut off from their identities, hobbies, and friends they left behind. Bet your career on these five trends. Generative AI is fueling a lot of job changes, but it's not the only factor. Legislation, for example, is fostering a boom in infrastructure roles, and creators are a $250 billion industry. The latest workplace request from Gen Z: legal services. More young workers say they want legal help as a workplace benefit, according to a new survey. This desire comes as more Gen Zers are stressed about finances and they expect to use the services within a year. In other news, it's like to work for Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTuber in the world, according to five former staffers. People are leaving Texas over rising costs, partisan politics, and a sense of disenchantment. Wow. So, what's happening today? It's Cyber Monday. Many online companies have special promotions and discounts on their products. The Gotham Awards for Independent Filmmaking is tonight. Honorees for the 33rd annual celebration include Bradley Cooper, Ben Affleck, and Greta Gerwig. Happy birthday to Bill Nye the Science Guy. Manilow Blahnik, Jimi Hendrix, Steve Bannon, and Bruce Lee were also born on this day. All right, so that does it for our pre-market news. But there's always more news to talk about, right? I just don't know which one I want to tell you first. How about this one? Did you know that China has warned South Korea not to politicize its economic issues? That's right, coming right out of Beijing, according to Reuters. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi warned his South Korean counterpart on Sunday not to politicize economic and tech issues as the two prepared to meet Japan's top diplomat on the sidelines of a trilateral meeting aimed at boosting cooperation. China and South Korea have become cooperation partners with highly integrated interests and highly interconnected production and supply chains, Wang told South Korean Foreign Minister Park Jin, according to a Chinese Foreign Ministry readout. Both sides should jointly resist the tendency to politicize economic issues, instrumentalize science and tech issues, and the broad securitization of trade issues. South Korea has sought to avoid becoming embroiled in a tit for tat row between China and the United States over semiconductors. The U.S. last month granted Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix permission to supply U.S. chip equipment to their China factories indefinitely, ending a conundrum for the world's two largest memory chip makers. China is willing to jointly promote the restart of revamped trilateral cooperation with South Korea and Japan. While China and the United States have been mending frayed ties, including a summit this month between Presidents Xi Jinping and Joe Biden, Beijing is concerned that Washington and its key regional allies are strengthening their three-way partnership. Beijing, Tokyo, and Seoul had agreed to hold summits every year starting in 2008 to bolster diplomatic and economic exchanges. but the plan has been blocked by bilateral roles and the COVID-19 pandemic. Their last trilateral leaders meeting was in 2019. The three foreign ministers are gathering in the port city of Busan, also the first such meeting since 2019. By the way, if you have not seen that movie, what is it? Something Busan Train, the Train to Busan. I think it's a um, it's a zombie horror movie. In my opinion, probably one of the best zombie movies of all time. Train to Busan. Yeah, you want to see that. It's awesome. In September, senior officials from the three countries agreed to arrange a trilateral summit at the earliest convenient time. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida have taken steps to repair ties strained by history and trade feuds and held a historic trilateral summit in August with Biden. All right, so very interesting. China is flexing over here and building alliances and all types of stuff. But did you hear about the amazing Black Friday sale? I bet you guys missed this one. Did you know that there was an incredible Black Friday sale? Lockheed Martin was offering two wars for the price of one. That's right, coming right out of Bethesda, Maryland. In an astonishing Black Friday sale, Lockheed Martin is now offering to equip two wars for the price of one. We've never slashed our prices this low, said Lockheed CEO James Tacklet in a public press conference announcing the once in a lifetime event. War in Ukraine, war in Israel, war in China, it doesn't matter. For today only, we will provide two wars worth of dead dealing equipment to the government for the price of only one. We could fund two wars, four wars, even six wars with prices this low. We'd be foolish not to. Sources confirmed defense contractors Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics have followed suit with similar offers for Black Friday only. The Department of Defense is being advised to stock up on drones, Hellfire missiles, space lasers, and other necessary equipment to be sent to rogue governments, terrorist organizations, and corrupt oligarchs around the world to help them make war for the benefit of the military industrial complex. This year, the military can get its Christmas shopping done early, said Raytheon CEO Gregory Hayes. Stock up. Those civilians in Yemen aren't going to bomb themselves. At publishing time, military officials have become frustrated to realize Lockheed Martin had just marked up their prices 100% on Thursday in order to slash them on Friday. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for our morning show. I know you missed me, but you don't want to miss the Thinking Outside the Box podcast either, because we're going to be talking about some things, and you're not going to want to miss it. I got to make up for lost time. Last week, the holidays. So I got to make it worth your while. I got some goodies for you. So I will see you back here at the appropriate time. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share with friends and family. Catch you on the other side. Peace.